Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you for tuning into Mass Appeal. I'm Seth Stutman.
I'm Ashley Cole. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day.
It's always, and it's getting near fall time. The weather is excellent. Love this time of year.
I know the air is getting crisp and cool. I know. And I remember going to school my first day back, wearing my cool outfit. I felt so cool and hip with my new stuff.
I don't remember what I was wearing. I just remember first day of school, for the first time stepping onto the bus. I felt like an adult. Little did I know that I was nowhere near an adult yet.
Well, we were excited about the first day, but for some children and teens, heading back to school can bring up feelings of anxiety and uncertainty. But how can you help them make the transition easier?
Well, joining us now is clinical psychologist Dr. Tim Hope. Tim, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Hi, morning.
So now this transition from summer, you have a different energy than once the school year starts, brings up some anxiety and uncertainty. So what's your first tip for parents and their kids?
Yeah, sure. So I always start with talk together. So get together with your kids and talk with them about what are you thinking about school? What do you have as concerns? What are you anxious about? What are you hopeful about? And that really is a nice place to just begin to open the conversations around how are we making this transition from summer to school.
And one of those transitions is bedtime. Because, you know, in summertime, you stay up late, you sleep in. How do you start making those transitions, though, so kids are getting on the right sleep schedule come school time?
Yeah, you do the same thing. I do this at home, too, which is to say, well, let's forecast what time do we need to be getting up in the morning? What time then do we need to be going to bed? And then starting to wind things down. Get that routine of dinner, get that quiet time after dinner, some reading, some arts and crafts, start to ease into the bedtime. And that really helps to make that transition back to the school schedule much easier.
Now the mealtime routine is important, as you mentioned, just mentioned, because in the summer it's kind of all over the place, right?
You're doing picnics, you're barbecuing, you're in, you're out, but starting to get into the idea of planning. So let's talk on the weekend. What are some of your ideas for dinners? What are some of your ideas for lunches? Let's do some shopping together. Let's do some meal preparation together. It's a nice way to really make connections with your kids, get them involved, then they'll actually eat the food that you're making for them.
That's true, which is important. Now, in summertime, too, people are playing outside, but they're also, because they have all this free time, they're playing with their video games, they're watching TV. But once it comes time to go back to school, we need to curtail that a little bit, too.
Yeah, and we all are watching too much TV. Kids, on average, are watching 3 to 4 hours of TV a day.
Ooh.
That is a huge amount when you consider that they're in school for at least 6 hours a day, too. So we really want to begin to bring that back down, introduce reading, introduce arts and crafts, introduce drawing, any kinds of games that kids might be into, like Sudoku or dot to dots. Help to make some connections with them and get them into that mode of doing something, some seat work, something where they're focusing, something that they can be creative about. And my kids really get excited about that, workbooks and those kind of fun things.
So that when they don't go back to school, it's not just this shock of all of a sudden
It's not a big shock.
they're back into doing all the work. Now, Dr. Hope, you say that it's very important for parents to arrange play dates before school begins.
Yeah, so a lot of times our kids have friends in the neighborhood, but sometimes they also have friends who are just in the school. And so our kids just found out about who their classroom assignment's going to be, and we've been chatting with some of the other parents, you know, who's in which classroom. And so we're getting them together with some of their friends to do that reconnection, because they might not have been connected over the summer. And that helps them, again, get reconnected to what school is like and get that good feeling of, I'm going to school with one of my friends. I'm not in this alone. This will help me feel pretty good.
So, because school can feel scary, but it doesn't have to. If you think you're in it with someone, it's all a big group of kids going together and having a good time.
That's right.
Now, here's my last question. For me, this was the hardest, because when it came to be summertime, I would pretty much turn my brain off, because I would swim, I would do so many crazy things. But when the homework would start up again, it took me a couple weeks kind of to get back into the groove of it and to turn my brain on again. What are ways that, people can start preparing now for the fall when the kids are going back to school and have homework?
Yeah, it's a similar recommendation that I have. Get your kids invested in, where are you going to be doing your homework? Let's find a nice, quiet, well-lit, clean space that is yours. Make it your own space. And then let's get into the routine of what time makes the most sense for you. So my kids have a little bit of break, they get a little bit of a snack after school, and then they settle into some homework time. The little girls, they do some reading or some coloring. The big girl, she's doing, you know, math and serious stuff. And so that really can help to establish that this is something we take seriously, want to put you in a best position to do well and to enjoy it. And it's important. I think most teachers really do give those first couple of weeks as a little bit of a leeway, but ease in.
Now, what if you want to do a little bit of pre-studying? Do you recommend this? Say you know your kid's going to be taking geometry. Maybe do you buy that geometry textbook early and start doing it, or do you let kids be kids and just enjoy the last few weeks of summer?
Yeah, I try to incorporate more naturalistic experiences of math. So we're at school, we're out shopping, we're doing some shopping for back to school supplies. Okay, you really want this? I'll buy these things for you, but this is something special that you want. Do you have enough money for it? Let's do some math. Let's do some calculations. How much change will you have left over? So using those naturalistic opportunities to practice, I think make more sense for them.
Love it.
And I think too, what you said, you're a father too. So work hard and then play hard. So make sure you get that homework done before you go out and
Go
play.
and play and have some fun.
And make that transition nice and easy for your kids, and your tips will certainly help.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hope.
Sure, you're
Always
welcome.
nice having you here.